Go and get settled.
That's out of sight.
Roll it like a big shot.
Let's go, baby. It's our show.
Excuse me, I gotta go to work.
Johnson. Oh, my! Wow! Who else? Charles Woodson again.
He just keeps amazing us.
And that's the freakish Japanese fighting fish, Larry Fitzgerald.
Guess who? DeMarcus Ware. Lucky guess.
Touchdown! Reggie Wayne! Oh, yes, 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 yes!
Look at this kid. Unbelievable!
Darrelle Revis has put on a clinic here tonight. You're going to play with fire, baby. You're going to get burned.
Josh Cribbs is at a different level. Barr fires to the end zone. Touchdown!
On my way to Miami, baby.
That's right, Pro Bowl.
We're going to Miami!
Pro Bowl, man.
Miami, here we come, baby.
Welcome to the 2010 Pro Bowl Selection Show, otherwise known as a special edition of NFL Total Access. And welcome inside the NFL Total Access Pro Bowl studios. I am Rich Eisen, joined by my friends Charles Davis, 7-time Pro Bowler Warren Sapp, and 7-time Pro Bowler Marshall Faulk. I am holding right here in my hands the rosters to this year's Pro Bowl. These guys have not yet seen it. They have not yet seen the rosters. We're going to get unvarnished, please, analysis from you guys on these rosters. So I hold the rosters in my hand of a very unique Pro Bowl, the first AFC-NFC All-Star game outside of the state of Hawaii since 1979. And for the first time ever, the game will not be played the week after the Super Bowl either. In fact, this year's Pro Bowl will be one big fat appetizer to the main Super Bowl course taking place the week before the Super Bowl in the same town, the same stadium, on the same field that the Super Bowl will take place 1 week later. Indeed, what better way to kick off the Super Bowl week than the best Pro Bowl viewing pleasure in Dolphin Stadium Sunday, January 31st. Let's get to this game. Not surprising, Peyton Manning receiving the most fan votes over. It's his 8th consecutive Pro Bowl, 10th career selection. No surprise, he's the starting quarterback.
Not at all. I mean, this guy here is perfect this year.
Peyton's dad was the last and only other Saints quarterback to receive back-to-back Pro Bowl selections. Well, Archie now has company as Drew Brees who finished under just 1.5 million fan votes. He was named the starting quarterback of the NFC, 4th career selection, 2nd.
That got in pretty good, too.
Brett Favre received less than 20,000 fan votes than Brees. He's a Pro Bowler again. In fact, for 11th time in his career, the most by any quarterback in NFL history, surpassing the record held by Johnny U.
Is he the oldest Pro Bowler?
Gotta be.
No.
Well, he's the first quarterback named to 3 straight Pro Bowls for 3 different teams.
That's a good one.
And his running backs going too. Adrian Peterson's a Pro Bowler, making it 3 for 3 in his NFL career. The first running back to make it for his first 3 seasons as a pro since none other than Barry Sanders.
And this ought to make him feel better. I know his yards are down, the fumble, he was upset about it, but this ought to make him feel better.
Right back up. But his receiving yards are up. He's trying to be a more well-rounded back like
he's getting there.
Only 4 players got over 1 million votes. Peterson's the only non-quarterback in that group. So here's how it worked. All-Star, the Pro Bowlers selected by fans, players, and coaches. Each group vote total counts for a third. Fan voting took place right before Halloween, lasted until December 21st. Players and coaches voting just before Christmas. We have the tabulations and the actual rosters again right here in my hands. We're about to go over the National Football Conference roster.
Give them to us, Rich.
Real quick. No, before that, I want names from you guys. Who would you be surprised is not on this list, Charles Davis?
If it's the NFC, yes, I would say London Fletcher, the linebacker, because there's been so much talk about him being the Susan Lucci.
Well,
you know, with all the years, there's so much talk about him not being on. I would have figured name recognition because of that would help him get on. Plus, he's played very well.
Warren?
Me, if it's the NFC, it's Tony Gonzalez. You're talking about a perennial Pro Bowl, almost joining the 1,000-catch club here coming up. So he's been a staple on Pro Bowl team for as long as I can remember.
10 of them.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to go off the beaten path a little bit. I'm going to talk about the left tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Donald Penn. That guy here, I mean, he's doing a great job. I mean, if you look at the guys that he has to go up against at least twice a year, you think about the $16 million man in Carolina. Right, you have Abraham, and then the 2 guys from New Orleans, Will Smith and Charles Grant.
Both can rush.
That's who you have to deal with.
Let's see if these guys are on the list. Let's go introduce the National Football Conference 2010 Pro Bowl roster to you, starting with some offensive starters. Larry Fitzgerald, 4th Pro Bowl.
Easy. Easy. Boy, easy.
You start there and work your way through the rest of the receivers. You say, okay, that's where you go.
For the first time ever, we have a player selected not only as a position player, but also as a special teams player. That's never happened before. Deshaun Jackson is a starting wide receiver and the kick returner.
Does the extra guy get to go then?
No, he's both.
Do you get
another guy?
Exactly.
Here's your starting tight end. Here's your starting tight end.
Oh, that works for me.
Yeah.
I like that. He was a beast this year.
And you knew they were going to have to go to him.
One touchdown away from the record of the tight ends in a single season.
First Pro Bowl selections for Vernon Davis and Deshaun Jackson.
Nice.
Leonard Weaver, a first Pro Bowl selection for him.
That's a good one.
As a fullback, and as we mentioned, Drew Brees and Adrian Peterson are in the backfield. Here are your offensive line starters for the 2010 Pro Bowl. Jason Peters,
big man.
Ryan McKinney, and Steve Hutchinson. Hutch for the 7th Pro Bowl. Jari Evans and Andre Gerard wrap up the offensive line for the starters. As for your reserves, we mentioned Brett Favre. Warren Moon was an older Pro Bowler than the 40-year-old Brett Favre.
Yeah, Warren Moon.
Okay, your question.
41.
I probably was at that Pro Bowl with him.
Yeah.
I think I was too.
Favre is the second. As you know, there's 3 quarterbacks. We'll tell you who the 3rd NFC quarterback is. But first, we wanted to make mention that Favre's 11 Pro Bowl selections.
That won't stand.
More than Peyton Manning and Johnny Unitas.
That's the guy, Peyton Manning. Peyton did it.
So that's the most. His the third quarterback, Aaron Rodgers is Pro Bowl.
I like that.
That's a great choice.
He beat out Kurt Warner.
I like that.
Tony Romo.
Donovan McNabb.
Tony Romo.
And that's
Although I
Cowboy
felt
Nation.
like Brett Favre didn't deserve to be on there. Kurt Warner, Aaron Rodgers.
This is a great selection. This is well deserved.
The other running backs, Steven Jackson, DeAndre Williams, Miles Austin, and Sidney Rice.
Wow.
Are your wide receivers along with Larry Fitzgerald and Deshaun Jackson. Jason Witten beats out. We'll tell you who he beats out in a moment. Well, actually, we just told you he beat out Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, definitely
Didn't make
Gonzalez.
it. Jason Witten makes it. John Stitchcomb, Leonard Davis, and
I can't
Sean
be mad
O'Hara.
at that. The BFF put in good work.
All your reserves on offense.
Tough choice right there.
Let's get to defense. Darren Sharper.
Of course.
Start with him and then go around.
He may be up for Defensive Player of the Year.
He's your starting free safety. 9 interceptions this season. It is his 5th Pro Bowl selection. Charles Woodson, another defensive player.
That's another obvious.
Another Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
Yes.
He's coming from all angles, whether it's the corner or the safety spot when he's getting after the quarterback.
He plays everywhere.
It's his 6th selection. Jared Allen, the Rhinestone Cowboys.
Thank you. Give me somebody that hunt the quarterback around here. Y'all done showed the old line. Give me somebody that hunts.
It's a 3-time Pro Bowl selection for him. So those are just a couple of names that leap out. Let's see your other starters. Julius Peppers will be starting on the other end.
Okay.
The tackles are Kevin Williams and Darnell Dockett.
And that's deserved. They needed to get Darnell Dockett on that.
Dockett got them hips.
And DeMarcus Ware, Lance Briggs, and Patrick Willis.
The tackling machine.
Are your linebackers with Asante Samuel joining Charles Woodson as the other starting corner and Adrian Wilson joining Sharper as the other starting safety. Jonathan Vilma is a reserve linebacker. London Fletcher is still Susan Lucci without a daytime Emmy.
You know, about mid-season, I had a conversation with someone. I said, if London doesn't get in, Jonathan Vilma's playing his way to that spot.
And they're the same kind of guy.
But you know, the Saints start and how they were taking the ball away on defense gave Vilma a little extra recognition, a little more visibility.
And he did
especially
go
with
to
the interceptions.
And he did go to the U.
Yeah,
Brian Arakpo, however, is a reserve from the Washington Redskins.
Now that young fella there's rushing the passer.
We have to say Albert Haynesworth helped get him in. Taking attention.
Jay Ratliff, Dominique Rogers,
even missing as many games as he did.
Come on,
look at the
Nick Collins are his other defensive reserves for the NFC. And we are joined right now on our Pro Bowl selection show by the mulleted one himself from the Minnesota Vikings, one of the all-time great hunters of the quarterback, and that would be Jared Allen joining us on the program. Jared, congratulations on the Pro Bowl selection. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks a lot. You know what? I got to say thanks to all the fans and my peers, man. This is a great honor. Couldn't be happier.
Well, I'm sure you enjoyed the good news, certainly coming on the heels of the Monday night game. I have to ask you what the spirits are of your team, having lost 3 of 4 to potentially lose a 2 seed in the playoffs.
I tell you what, it's a rough pill to swallow, especially we're losing the teams that we shouldn't lose to, and you know, but we got a team of good guys over here. We're not going to make any excuses. We'll eat it. And bottom line is we gotta play better across the board and toughen up a little bit and get after it this Sunday and carry that momentum into the playoffs.
Yeah, taking on the New York Giants and then needing a Cowboys win for you to get the 2 seed in the playoffs. How important is that bye week for you guys, Jared?
Well, you know, we got a couple injuries. You know, Pat Williams, he didn't play last week, so we gotta, you know, it'd be great to have him get a rest. And you know, everybody wants a rest this time of year, but I'll be truthful with you guys. I could care less if we get the bye week or not. As long as we're in the tournament, we get a chance to win. You know what? Sometimes it's better just to keep playing. And you know, you saw last year all the teams with the bye weeks lost. So either way, I don't care how it plays out. As long as we get to get on the field, get in the tournament, make some noise.
13.5 sacks this year. We're looking at your statistics, a Pro Bowl resume for sure. What about your game, Jared, has improved more in the last couple of years as a Minnesota Viking than when you were a Kansas City Chief?
Well, I'll tell you what, I try to be honest. You know, the older you get, and I'm not that old. I'm not old as Warren over there.
Nice.
Whoa.
I only say that because I got to I got to play against him when he was. I got to play against him when he was with the Raiders, you know, and I'll never forget the last conversation we had. But no, I get my mental game. You know, trying to study players better and just have a better mindset and have a better you know, game plan going into a game and not just relying on the ability to outwork somebody. And as you get older, you know, I try to focus more on my conditioning in the off season to make sure I can sustain 16 weeks. But you know, I'm just having fun out there, and sometimes it's dumb luck, and the other times you're just whooping a man. So
me and you share a little common guy, Bob Carmelowitz. Is he still calling you on Tuesday, helping you out with breaking down your opponent by any chance?
You know, yeah, I talked to Bob. I haven't talked to him in a few weeks, but I need to call him back. Now he's a phenomenal teacher. I tell you what, that guy taught me when I first got in the league that, you know, you can't always just rely on being better than somebody, or, you know, if excuse me, if you work on your technique, your talent will carry you that much further.
Who's Bob? Who do we just give a shout out to?
Bob Carmelowitz was a defensive line coach at the University of Miami that asked me to move over to the defensive line position, and he told me there was no 300-pound tight end. And I said, Eric Green. He said he's digging his grave with a fork. So I moved over to the D-line.
Well, give Bob a call back, Jared. Yeah. Apparently you owe him a call. We don't want to throw you under the bus there.
You can't do that.
No, Bob's my guy, and but I tell you what, I got blessed. I came from one good D-line coach to another. You know, Carl Dunbar, he does a hell of a job over here teaching us, not really teaching us, but always, you know, everything starts with your bases. You know, sure. You're never too good, you're never too, you know, too advanced to always work on what got you to where you're at, and so he does a great job of keeping our minds focused and keeping us where we need to go. And as you can see, we've had great success, myself, Kevin, Pat, and the rest of the D-line.
Well, listen, congratulations to you on the selection, and congrats to the rest of your teammates who made it, and say hi to Hutch for us, too.
I sure will.
That's none other than Jared Allen joining us on the Pro Bowl Selection Show 2010 style. And the game, as we mentioned, is going to be in Miami, in Dolphin Stadium. It's presented by McDonald's. For more information, go to NFL.com/Pro Bowl. When we return, the American Football Conference. Who made it from the AFC? We already told you about Peyton. Chris Johnson's a lock, right?
No doubt. It was a lock. We don't get to talk about him. I don't want to be here.
The class of the AFC, as we mentioned, Deshaun Jackson has double duty. We'll introduce the special teamers to you on the Pro Bowl roster.
For that.
But coming up next, the Cincinnati Bengals, their second division crown in 19 years. So how many Pro Bowlers are they going to have? I mean, it's only a matter of counting them, right? Don't go anywhere.
Ocho.
NFL Total Access is brought to you by the Samsung LED TV, the official HD TV of the NFL. And by FedEx. We understand your business could use a Dick Buckus pep talk. Go to FedEx.com/pep talk.
I'm ready.
Samsung LED TV. Incredibly slim. Outrageously intense. In-your-face brilliant.
The NFL, that's how I see it.
The Samsung LED TV. It's football in hyper-real.
10. Average number of fingers on which an NFL player would like to have Super Bowl rings. 10%. What you can save on ground shipping at FedEx office over the UPS store. We understand you need to save money.
Boring room? Ugly room? Make your unsightly room spectacular in a matter of minutes with Fathead. A Fathead is an enormous graphic that sticks to your wall. Life-size athletes, gigantic helmets and logos, and much more. Made from durable vinyl and a patented non-residue adhesive, a Fathead can be taken down, moved, and put back up without leaving a mark or doing damage to your wall. Just log on to fathead.com, where you'll find hundreds of images. And right now, if you buy an NFL Fathead, we'll give you a second one for half price. And that's not all. While supplies last, buy any Fathead, and we'll throw in a free pack of Fathead tradables. 5 miniature Fathead graphics that fit anywhere. They're free with your purchase. Just enter the code at the bottom of your TV screen. But wait, for a limited time, when you enter this code, we'll ship your entire order for free. Go to fathead.com while these offers are still good, and transform your room with Fathead. And now create your own Fathead. Go to fathead.com and click the word custom to upload your photo today.
Rediscover the greatest games in NFL history. The Patriots cap off an undefeated regular season.
Going back again to Mark. Touchdown, Patriots.
NFL Classics, Patriots Giants. New Year's Day at 8, exclusively on NFL Network.
Don't be denied. That's why you play this game.
I ain't done yet. Hey, why you keep following me? Let me run out here by myself. Make it easy on me. Good job. I'm good. Don't take me out. For real. I know. What if I was Peyton Manning?
Did he catch you?
Yeah, he did. I'm in the MVP running now too now.
I know.
Come on. They don't think we can do it. They don't think I can do it. I make them a believer.
Chris Johnson, look out, Marshall. Nice headshot. Wow. That's a quality headshot. 75 yards from scrimmage against Seattle, which I believe Ryan Grant had on 2 carries last week.
I am not rooting for Seattle. I just want you guys to know. I don't do that.
That's my guy.
I don't root for Seattle. Chris Johnson, handle your business.
Get it.
To get the all-time single-season.
It's a very mature approach.
Yards from scrimmage record.
Man, that's what
That's class.
Turn that camera off his own.
Now, if I was playing,
you
go out there and do something about it.
Do something
Right now, I'm in the friendly confines.
You'd be like, I see your numbers, Chris Johnson. I raised them.
Also sounds like a man resigned to it happening.
It's
for several weeks.
It's happening.
I've been saying this to you guys. I'm okay with it. I've made peace with it.
He gonna get that tap on the shoulder.
Made
we got to talk.
Who did shock you isn't on the AFC rosters that I currently hold in my hands? Who did shock you is not on the AFC rosters, Chelsea?
Even though he's a rookie, because usually they make you, make you wait a little bit.
Sure.
Cush, Brian Cushing.
Yeah,
he's been a monster.
Yeah.
One of the things about him coming out of college that they talked about was durability. Dinged a lot in college. Could he stay on the field? He played through a lot of stuff this year and made a lot of plays.
You play with D'Amico Ryans, he probably takes a little shine away.
Takes a little bit.
But he did have a good year.
He played.
Warren, what about you in the AFC?
Thomas Jones for me. You're talking about a rookie quarterback, having to run the ball and
they circle him on the scouting report every week.
8 in the box.
You lose Leon Washington, an explosive guy. They draft Sean Green. They don't want to pay you. And that's all you do.
And that's all you do is run for, what, 1,312 touchdowns?
The guy that I look at is Vincent Jackson. And when you think about the Chargers, I mean, this guy here, he started to get the double teams, and Gates started to get open.
Yep.
I mean, I've watched this guy beat people deep all year long.
On that receiving unit, is he the starting small forward, or because that receiving unit is a hoops team?
Right.
They are all
Even
2 and 3.
Good. The special teams guys 6'5".
They all play 2 and 3.
Only one of those names made it.
What?
Let's get to the list right here. The AFC starters, starting with the starting quarterback, Peyton. It's been 2 years, by the way.
This doesn't surprise me. I'm not going to tell you guys why.
Well, you know what will surprise you?
I'm shocked.
It will surprise you in the third quarter.
Wait a minute.
It's in the third quarter when Curtis Painter comes in the game. That'll really surprise you.
In Miami?
Don't drag me back there, Rich. Don't drag me back there.
I've got the wrong rundown here in front of me.
Whoa.
His starting wide receiver and tight end are the same starting wide receiver and tight ends he plays with all the time.
Both deserving.
Yeah. Reggie Wayne a fourth. Dallas Clark was first.
Oh, ahead of Gates.
And is Dallas Clark a tight end or is he a third receiver? I'm not saying he's not a tight end, but the way they use him, he's like a third receiver.
Most of those guys aren't the primary blocker on their team anyway.
Wait a minute. Are we flooding this thing?
One of the 7 players from the U.
Thank you.
Playing in this game in Miami.
And we play tonight. We got Wisconsin, Big Ten. Look out. Here we come.
Nice. Very nice. All right, so here are your starters on offense. Peyton Manning. Chris Johnson is your starting running back. LaRon McClain is your starting fullback. We already showed you who the starting wide receivers and tight ends are. Moving on, here's the line. Jake Long playing in his house. What's the matter with Jake Long?
It's his offensive lineman. He's the offensive lineman. He gets a little tick here.
Logan Mankins and making his 9th straight.
Faneca.
More than any active player.
Yeah, Faneca.
Alan Faneca, along with Nick Mangold, 2 of the Jets of the offensive line. Phillip Rivers is a reserve. First time he gets a Pro Bowl selection.
The other guy has to be Matt Schaub if Andre Johnson got in.
You really think people are going to put him ahead of Brady?
The other guy, I mean,
Schaub's had the year. He deserves the year.
I'm not arguing right there, Marshall. That is not the one. It's
Tom Brady?
Oh, come on, man.
You knew it was coming.
Tom Brady's going. Maurice Jones-Drew and Ray Rice. Thomas Jones does not make it. Neither does.
No Thomas Jones.
Neither does Cedric Benson.
No Benson. Oh.
Brandon Marshall and Wes Welker instead of Vincent Jackson.
The whole Joe team is going to look real nice this year.
Joe Thomas, Chris Steelman, Jeff Saturday wrap things up. Antonio Gates is the backup tight end. Let's get to defense. Sugar Ray.
Oh, everybody loves Raymond.
Number 10. For him.
Can't get mad with Raymond. Everybody loves Raymond. He jumps around the block a little bit this year, but you know, that's still my dog. He sticks his nose. Get him, Raymond.
Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis. A couple of Colts right there.
Those are bookends right there.
That makes sense.
You can't have one. When you got 2 like that, you do big damage.
Colts have 6 players. It's the most in the AFC. Most of any AFC team.
Don't take them long when you're good with that razor.
It's the 5th selection for Freeney, 2nd for Mathis. Brian Dawkins going as an AFC player for the first time.
He
Well deserved. This guy, I mean, anchored that defense. Although, you know, you have Champ Bailey and Goodman played well, but he was the guy back there, quarterback and everybody.
7 with the Eagles, 1 with the Broncos, and Revis Island will be there.
Shut down. Hey, he's
T.O.
Andre
Johnson,
Roddy White.
They all put in 8. Number 24 for the Jets.
Here's where your wide receiver statistics go to die.
When they left the game, they signed
We're going to chat with him later on as well. Hello, Nada, Vince Wilfork, Elvis Dumerville, James Harrison join Ray Lewis as well. And in the secondary, Nnamdi, Ed Reed will join Brian Dawkins and Darrell Revis. Let's check on the reserves. Champ is a reserve. This is his 9th selection in the AFC.
Boy, that little surprising. Little surprising.
Leon Hall, Jonathan Joseph.
Yeah, little surprising.
Well, I hate to tell you, the Bengals got snubbed entirely. Not a single Cincinnati Bengal made the Pro Bowl.
Wow.
Not a single one. There is Cushing with Ryans from the Texans, along with Mario Williams. 3 Texans there as a defensive reserve. Casey Hampton and Jarris Byrd become, you know, he and his dad, Gil Byrd, become the 9th father-son Pro Bowl combination, counting the Manning boys separately, selected to the Pro Bowl.
The Texans are everywhere.
Watched the kid play in high school.
Did you really?
Yeah, Yep, Gil Byrd was our quality control guy, assistant defensive backs coach, and I got to watch Jerry play in Clayton High School.
Much more of a corner in college.
He was a corner.
So no Vincent Jackson, no Bengals, by the way. No Bengals at
I would have thought one of the corners. I would have thought one of the corners is the third
we'll talk about that later. 10-5, not sufficient enough to get a Pro Bowler whatsoever. Coming up, the specialists. Joshua Cribbs, Deshaun Jackson.
We already know Joshua Cribbs.
Pay the man.
You got to kick to these guys in the game, too, right?
I don't even know why.
I kick it out of bounds. Those you won't if I'm out there.
Maybe the first.
Welcome to the Now Network. Population 49 million. Right now, 1.2 million people are on Sprint mobile broadband. 31 are streaming a sales conference from the road. 154 are tracking shipments on a train, 33 are IMing on a ferry, and 1,300 are secretly checking email on a vacation. That's happening now. America's most dependable 3G network, bringing you the first and only wireless 4G network. Right now, get a free 3G, 4G device for your laptop. Sprint, the Now Network.
Fans are great. Fans are passionate, so they say a lot of things that are positive and negative. I don't think I've ever been affected strongly in terms of questioning myself by a fan. I had a guy in New York that was always there when I was in Washington, and he used to always open up the one ads and have a bunch of jobs circled. He said, "Hey, I'm looking for your next job, coach," and I thought that was amusing. It's never easy, but it is easier when you're winning.
Introducing a new channel from NFL Network that will change Sunday afternoons forever. This season, NFL Red Zone takes you from game to game for the best moments as they happen live in HD. Get in the zone. NFL Red Zone. Every touchdown from every game. Find out more at NFL.com/RedZoneTV.
Football is the best thing to ever come into my life. I want to be the best tight end ever.
They just find ways to tell you what you can't do. The more you tell me I can't, the more I'm going to want to do it.
Respect is number one in this game. Kerry Rose on the football field is a playmaker.
Losings are up. There's not a lot at this point in my career that I take from a loss.
If I had a choice between 15 and 20 sacks or sacks, I'd take 15 and 20 sacks.
What's going on? You ain't know I was in the building? Braylon Nell, what's going on? This is Big Time Arias, Kerry Rose,
Mark Sanchez, the quarterback.
After hitting so much, you know, I missed a line somewhere.
I knew it was broken. I knew it was broken the second half.
Vontae, you got a pick for 6 and you told the crowd, shh, that's for the critics. It's for the critics.
I explained that.
Follow the game's biggest stars all season. Super Bowl Journey on NFL Game Day Morning, only on NFL Network.
Joshua Cribbs, otherwise known as Pay the Man, has an NFL record number of returns to the house on kickoffs, and he is, not surprisingly, your kickoff returner for the AFC and the Pro Bowl. 2 Browns making the Pro Bowl, none from the Cincinnati Bengals, if I may keep repeating myself, because kickers are people too, and Pro Bowlers too. Your punter, Shane Leckler, Nate Kading is your kicker, and Kasim Osgood is your special teams player from the AFC. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, for the first time in Pro Bowl history, a player has been elected to 2 different positions on the same team. Starting wide receiver Deshaun Jackson is also the kickoff returner for the NFC. The man has been doing it all, electrifying the Philadelphia Eagle fan base throughout the season. He joins David Akers in the special teams from the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC. Andy Lee from the 49ers is your punter. Heath Farwell, your special teams player for the NFC from the Vikings. Let's go around the league and kick it over right now with Charles and Steve Weiss joining the program.
All right, thanks a lot, Rich. Presented by BlackBerry. Steve, the Pro Bowl now the week before the Super Bowl, okay? What does that mean for the Pro Bowl nominees who are going to actually play in the Super Bowl?
Well, I think all these guys who are feeling snubbed today, they better stay on the treadmill, because any Pro Bowl players who play in the Super Bowl the following week, they will not participate in the Pro Bowl. Now, the NFL will introduce and recognize the Super Bowl Pro Bowlers at the Pro Bowl. Follow me with all these bowls we're saying. They will recognize them, introduce them, things like that, but they will not play in the Pro Bowl. Whoever's next in line in the votes, they're going to get to play. So let's say the Vikings with 8 players play the Colts with 6, 14 open Pro Bowl spots. That's because the players are in the Super Bowl. So like I said, these guys who are feeling bad today better stay on the treadmill once the season's over.
Yeah, you're talking about the treadmill. They better get a lot of work overtime. That's 14 guys just from those 2 teams. Right. If they manage to get to the Super Bowl, you've got a few other ones out there too about guys who are going to get out there. What about this run of guys who may very well be out there available to play?
Well, I mean, there's guys, they have to be ready to play. And here's another thing, Charles. The coaching selection is a little bit different, because usually it was the coaches from the losing teams of the conference championships. Now, see if you can follow me here. Another twist.
I'm going to stay with you.
You got me?
Yep.
It's the team, the coaching staff from the divisional losers from the round of playoffs after the wild card, who were the highest seed or had the best regular season record. Okay, you got that? The best regular season record, those coaching staffs will be the coaches for the Pro Bowl game. So there's a little bit of a change here. The NFL did this to try to pique some interest, as Rich said earlier, as an appetizer for the Super Bowl. And this is a nice little change of things. And the Pro Bowl the next 2 years will be back in Hawaii, but they haven't decided if it's going to be before or after the Super Bowl yet.
Yeah, so still the league still has to determine exactly how it's all going to go down, but we know what's going to happen this year. The week before the Super Bowl, at the Super Bowl site, and if you get to the NFL championship game, the Super Bowl, you won't be playing in the Pro Bowl.
You won't be playing the Pro Bowl, but you know what, Charles?
You still get your bonus, right?
You still get your bonus. What do we always hear, too? I'd rather have a Super Bowl ring more than anything. So get your bonus, get recognized for the Pro Bowl, and then go play for the big one.
Well, if you get to the Super Bowl, you have your cake and you eat it, too, because you get the Pro Bowl recognition, you get the bonus, and you get the Super Bowl. That's Around the League, presented by BlackBerry. Rich?
All right, guys, thanks very much. As we mentioned, the Colts have more players in the Pro Bowl than any team in the AFC. Dallas Clark, his first time, gives the Colts 14 players totaling 47 Pro Bowl selections since Bill Polian took over running the Indianapolis Colts. Polian and the Colts organization has been under fire over the last couple of days for pulling most of the starters from the game, only 5 against the Jets, having the undefeated season circle the drain thereafter. On Around the League, I asked Polian earlier on Tuesday if he was surprised by the fan backlash in Indianapolis.
I thought that we had made it very plain that 16-0 was not a goal for us. Apparently, I and others in the organization didn't do as good a job of that as we should have. What we've said, it seems repeatedly since Halloween almost, is that 16-0 we did not feel was a historic achievement. What was important to us, and what we tried very hard to do on a short week against Jacksonville after we had wrapped up the home field advantage, was to set 2 records. One, for the most consecutive regular season games won. We were tied with New England prior to that, and we now hold that record ourselves. And secondly, for the most games won in this decade, and I don't believe that anybody can catch us now, no matter what happens this week. We felt those were both extremely historical milestones that were worth going out there and risking everything for. Having achieved those 2, which again are very important to us, not apparently to some in the media and some fans here in Indianapolis, but to us, we felt that prudence then should dictate what we do from there on in.
You can see the full conversation with me and Bill Polian on NFL.com. Right now, some more non-Pro Bowl related news with Darren Horton.
Thank you, Rich. Coming up at the top of the hour, it's NFL replay. Colts coach Jim Caldwell pulling his starters towards the end of that third quarter. The Curtis Painter-led Colts go on to allow 19 points and lose their chance at that undefeated season. But first, that thriller in the Windy City on Monday night between the Vikings and Bears. What a football game. Fourth quarter action, 30-23 Bears, 22 seconds left. Brett Favre going up top, and look at the catch by Sidney Rice for the touchdown. That tied it at 30, so we go to overtime, and then on a 1st and 10, after an Adrian Peterson fumble, it's Jay Cutler to Devin Aromashadu. 39-yard touchdown. That's the game winner. The Vikings have now lost 3 of 4. Let's hear from Brad Childress.
All you can do is focus on what's ahead. And again, that's always where we're best served. You know, not too far ahead, like ahead next Sunday with the New York Giants. Not looking back, looking forward, and knowing that that's where the rest of this football season is forward.
5-time Pro Bowl safety Troy Polamalu may not be ready to play Sunday when Pittsburgh takes on Miami. He has missed the last 6 games and most of a 7th with a knee injury last week. Polamalu said he probably needed a full week of practice before he could play again. Mike Tomlin had this update on Tuesday.
Troy ran yesterday in a straight line, is doing the same thing right now as we speak. Maybe he'll practice in a limited capacity, but really we're taking it day by day in terms of how he responds to the workouts. Yesterday I think was a positive step. I'll find out about today, I guess, when I'm done here, and then we'll move on from there. You know, door's not closed on him participating.
Still to come, Phillip Rivers has led the Chargers to 10 straight wins. The Bolt signal caller getting recognized for his stellar play of late. We'll explain. Also, the Pro Bowl selections are out, and the Bengals did not get any love from the selection committee. Who got snubbed? We'll fill you in right after the break.
Full color football, the history of the American Football League, the true story of the Mavericks who changed the face of the game. Full color football premieres Friday, January 8th on NFL Network.
New Year's Eve. The desert heats up as the Golden Gophers square off with the Cyclones in a Big Ten, Big 12 shootout. Minnesota, Iowa State. The Insight Bowl, New Year's Eve at 6, live on NFL Network.
Boring room? Ugly room? Make your unsightly room spectacular in a matter of minutes with Fathead. A Fathead is an enormous graphic that sticks to your wall. Life-size athletes, gigantic helmets and logos, and much more. Made from durable vinyl and a patented non-residue adhesive, a Fathead can be taken down, moved, and put back up without leaving a mark or doing damage to your wall. Just log on to fathead.com, where you'll find hundreds of images. And right now, if you buy an NFL Fathead, we'll give you a second one for half price. And that's not all. While supplies last, buy any Fathead, and we'll throw in a free pack of Fathead tradables. 5 miniature Fathead graphics that fit anywhere. They're free with your purchase. Just enter the code at the bottom of your TV screen. But wait, for a limited time, when you enter this code, we'll ship your entire order for free. Go to fathead.com while these offers are still good, and transform your room with Fathead. And now create your own Fathead. Go to fathead.com and click the word custom to upload your photo today.
He came back for another shot at the playoffs. You can too. NFL.com Fantasy Playoff Challenge is back. It's free. And you could win a trip to Super Bowl 45. You thought the fantasy season was over. Sign up now at NFL.com/fantasy. You want the NFL? Go to the NFL. Track 3 games while watching a fourth and previewing the next. While following 3D drive charts, watching player highlights and rating players as you chat with some guy about Tio and Buffalo and down Chicago-style pizza in New York. While catching Palomalu rob the Titans in Pittsburgh. NFL Game Center only at NFL.com. You want the NFL? Go to the NFL. The NFL and its players are committed to improving the health of kids everywhere. That's why we're encouraging them to get at least 60 minutes of exercise and play every day. It's called NFL Play 60, the best 60 minutes of the day. Join the movement at NFLRush.com.
All I want is NFL Network.
Marshall, let's welcome Warren to the FedEx Aaron Ground Lowdown Party.
Welcome to the Lowdown.
We roll that way every Tuesday.
Thank you very much.
So welcome. As we discussed on our Lowdown on NFL.com on Tuesday, Marshall, here are your nominees for the ground players. Jerome Harrison, Jonathan Stewart putting it on the Giants.
Stewart.
Cadillac Williams on the Saints. Here are your air nominees: Brady, Phillip Rivers, Jay Cutler.
Cutler.
Jay Cutler for the Bears. Where's that been all year for the Bears? But here's Phillip Rivers, folks. He is a Pro Bowler. He's a Pro Bowler, along with Tom Brady. Yes. Along with T. Brady.
Yeah, along with Tom Brady. Matt Shaw.
Well, you know what that means? Is that Brady, Giselle, and the baby nurse are going to have to make it to the Pro Bowl. You're just going to have to bring everybody.
That's an easy trip from New England down to Miami.
That's the FedEx Aaron Ground. You can vote on NFL.com/FedEx. Let's talk snubs. Have to get to it every time that there's a Pro Bowl roster coming out. You said Tony Gonzalez should go. He's made 10 straight not going. Jason Witten gets the spot for the NFC, along with Vernon Davis getting the start. You look at the numbers. I mean, more first down, more touchdowns.
6 touchdowns.
Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Here's the thing: whenever you go from one division to the next, that year you have to stand out. in order to make it to the Pro Bowl because they're accustomed to those guys that go. I hear you.
Yeah, okay.
I hear you, but
when you switch conferences, you got to splash. You got to make it big.
And your team, they got to have that kind of year.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they're 8-7. The Falcons and the Bengals are the only teams above 500 currently that have no Pro Bowlers this year in the 2010 Pro Bowl. So
they forgot about Tony G. They forgot about
Tony G.
These are a different conference. They forgot about it.
The AFC running back position, let's visit that.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Okay, let's visit that. You got Ray Rice making it along with Maurice from Rutgers, making it along with Maurice Jones-Drew and the guy who's breathing down your neck for your all-time record. That'd be Chris Johnson. So you said Thomas Jones, Marshall. You'd be surprised if he didn't make it. You take a look at these numbers. I guess the yards from scrimmage may have gotten Ray Rice.
And that's where it is, right there.
That's work.
Unfortunately, Thomas Jones, he's predominantly a two-down back. They like to bring Leon Washington in. Leon got hurt. Thomas started playing more. Sean Green, they platoon him in a lot. But as the season went on, Ray Rice was the guy in Baltimore. They didn't even play Willis McGahee that much. And you look at it, and that's why his touchdowns was down. But the yards for scrimmage, man, that's a hard thing.
I was ready to argue with you until I looked at almost 700 yards receiving in the game, and that kills a defense. When you're talking about dropping off that little two-pass, screen, and he turns into a 50-yard run, that drives you nuts as a defender. He deserves it.
One of the more durable, consistent linebackers in the game, London Fletcher, did not make it.
Somebody cheating, man. Come on, man. Come on, people. How much longer do we have to get on here and rant and rave like this? This man is a Pro Bowler in every sense of the word.
I played with this guy for 5 years. I've never watched the guy work harder in practice. He leaves it out on the field, doesn't miss a game, has led every team that he's played on each year in tackles. And for whatever reason, people, they just choose to not you the fans, and it has to be.
It has to be.
Because the players and the coaches know, fans listen. Recognize this guy, understand the talent that he is. He deserves to be in the Pro Bowl.
I played against him, and I want him on my defense. That's how invaluable he is.
Maybe he could take the Harry Carson approach. Just tell everybody, take me off the list. I don't even want to be considered anymore, and then he'll get in.
It's just not fair.
That's definitely
not fair. What he does, he deserves to be.
And how he does it.
And as I mentioned, the Bengals and Falcons, the only teams currently above 500, not to have a Pro Bowler named at all this year, along with the Seahawks, Chiefs, Buccaneers, and Lions.
That ain't right. The Bucks used to flood that thing.
When you were in the mix, man. You're not in the mix anymore.
Wow. Did you say used to?
So the Bengals didn't make it. The Bengals didn't make it at all. Cedric Benson, perhaps one of the possible. You mentioned some of the cornerbacks.
I'm going to say this. The Bengals are a team that's full of guys who play as a team. You don't see anybody standing out, and not like Carson Palmer had a great year. Carson Palmer was spreading the ball around his like Chad had an off-the-charts year. Cedric Benson, I believe he would have made it if he wouldn't have got hurt.
Yeah.
If he would not have gotten hurt,
might have been a thing.
Benson would have definitely, because at the time,
who do you take off the list then for him?
It would have been even more interesting because Benson would have definitely had the yards. For the longest point in time in the league, he was leading the league in rushing until Chris Johnson became the guy. Until they just told Lindell White to sit down. But that was the guy. And then on the defensive side, Ray Malaluga, great year. I mean, guy had a great. He and Rivers, Odom's got hurt. He was leading.
Yeah, he was definitely
going. He got hurt. But they had guys that was close, but no.
Well, Chad just threw this one out on Twitter moments ago.
Chad's on Twitter?
Yeah.
No way.
Just be informed.
What I missed?
Just be informed myself, nor any of my teammates made the Pro Bowl. Bengal fans, we wouldn't be able to play it in any way. Super Bowl, baby.
I like that.
You know what I think? Rondé Barber said it best one time.
And he was very active on Twitter, as he always is.
What I missed.
Because when we return, we're going to chat with Darrelle Revis on Jets Cam. Up next for Revis this week is Ocho and the Cincinnati Bengals in a must-win game for the Jets. Winning in, they are in. They lose, they're out. Apparently, Ocho and Revis were going back and forth with each other all day.
On Twitter?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. I'd have missed the bunch.
Not the guy to mess with, Ocho.
I'd have missed the bunch today.
Relive the best games from Week 16 as the Jets square off with the Colts and the Ravens battle the Steelers. NFL Replay, tonight starting at 8, only on NFL Network.
You got some pretty important reasons to eat better. So now, 23 Campbell's Chunky Soups have 100% lean meat and a full serving of vegetables. A man's got to eat. He just wants to eat better. Campbell's Chunky.
Wherever you are, you're at the game. Live game day audio of every regular season game. And live video of every Thursday night football game on NFL Network. NFL Mobile Live, only from Sprint. You want the NFL? Go to the NFL.
Boston Lager continues to be a very special beer.
6 weeks after Jim started the business, he took the Best Beer in America award.
No one had tried an American beer that had that kind of flavor.
20 years on, Jim is still obsessed with Boston Lager.
Sam Adams Lager continues to win medals all over the world. That's pretty cool.
Introducing NFL.com Game Rewind. Watch every NFL game in HD, online, on demand, in its entirety. Commercial free. You want the NFL? Go to the NFL.
There's nothing you can do that can't be done. There's nothing you can sing that can't be sung. There's nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. There's nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. There's nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be with time. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love's all you need. Love's all you need. Love's all you need. Love's all you need. Love is all you need.
Relive the best games from Week 16 as the Broncos square off with the Eagles and the Vikings battle the Bears. NFL Replay, tomorrow starting at 8, only on NFL Network.
As we mentioned, the 2010 Pro Bowl is the week before the Super Bowl in South Florida, presented by McDonald's. For more information on this unique continental United States sporting event, go to NFL.com/Pro Bowl. As we mentioned earlier in the program, the starter on defense, one of the corners, is Darrelle Revis. We could tell you how many interceptions he has, how many pick sixes he has, but this is essentially his Pro Bowl resume. Look at all these people, some of whom are playing in the Pro Bowl, that he has shut down this year. Terrell Owens and Randy Moss, those are numbers for 2 games against Darrelle Revis. And he's got Chad Ochocinco coming up this week, which brings us to the tweet of the day presented by Best Buy. Ocho was going after Darrelle Revis on Twitter all day, at Revis24. First tweet: I'm coming to the Big Apple to give New York what they've never seen, an escaped inmate gone wild on Revis Island. Try to cover me. Later on, saying to Darrelle, where are you at, son? When I finish with you, you'll be wearing 42. Great hip speed and transition on film, so at least he's giving him some props. And then finally, you saw the movie Public Enemies. That's how I'm going to break out of Revis Island. I can't stay there. Ain't no damn McDonald's. So there's another McDonald's promo right there. That's the tweet of the day presented by Best Buy. And we fire up Jets Cam for the aforementioned shutdown corner of the New York Jets, Darrelle Revis. Darrelle, did you tweet back at him? Was this a Twitter war all day?
Yes, it was. I came back at him. You know, my tweet to his first tweet was, you know, good morning, you know, Twitter world. You know, Chad Ochocinco, you're going to have a rough day on Revis Island.
Revis Island, and you were dreaming. You had some dream that somebody had escaped from Revis Island or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Well, you got Chad this weekend. Before we quickly get to your Pro Bowl experience from last year and what you expect this year, what about this weekend? What a turnabout for the New York Jets a couple weeks ago against the Atlanta Falcons. That was a game that you let slip through your fingers quite literally. And then the turnabout with the Indianapolis Colts. You have control of your own playoff destiny all of a sudden, Darrelle.
Oh, yeah, we do. You know, it's been a rough year, up and down for us. You know, we started off 3-0 and, you know, went through a 7-game losing streak. But we managed in the last half of the season to get a lot of wins. And, you know, we got a big win Sunday against Indianapolis. And now we control our destiny by trying to get a win Sunday against the Bengals.
Now, the flip side of this argument, or the furor over the Colts pulling their starters, essentially giving up against the Jets, the flip side of that is that the Jets, the assumption is the Jets wouldn't have won that game hadn't the Colts done what they did. Are you guys using that whole furor as motivation to move forward here, Darrell?
Yeah, we are. You know, at halftime, the game was only 15-10. You know, we felt that we were still in the game. I just think we just had to make a couple plays on both sides of the ball. And, you know, it was a lot of things going on about them might not starting their, you know, star players and everything. But we don't matter who's on the field. We had a goal, and our goal was to get that win, and we did.
Well, you strike me as a very humble guy, Darrell, that you don't do a lot of talking except with your play. How does that work for a cornerback in the National Football League? That doesn't strike me as your typical cornerback in the NFL, Darrell.
I don't know, Rich.
Do you trash talk out there? Do you trash talk out there?
Not unless somebody says something to me. But I'm sure this Sunday against Chad, it's going to be a little war out there trash talking. So I mean, you got I got friends like Ty Law and Deion Sanders. So
yeah,
you know, those two guys that you know, Deion was a little bit flashy, and Ty was a little bit of a trash talker himself. So I just try to learn from those guys, and just try to let my game speak for itself.
And what do you think is the best part of your game, Darrell?
Covering. No.
Well, preparation
you know,
obviously has a lot to do with it. I mean, Deion said he was always the most prepared player on the field, and then his God-given talents took over on Sunday.
I think that's the best thing. You got to prepare for these top receivers in the game. You know, they're big-time playmakers, and you know, one false move for us in the secondary ends into a touchdown. So, you know, you have to be well prepared. You have to study these guys day by day and week by week.
Well, congratulations on your second consecutive Pro Bowl, Darrell, and good luck moving forward with the Jets.
All right. Thank you, Rich.
That is Darrelle Revis joining us on Jets Cam. When he takes on Andre Johnson, there must be no chatter out there between those two guys taking on one another. We take a look at the rookies who were recognized to go to the Pro Bowl. An NFL Total Access Pro Bowl edition returns.
Boring room? Ugly room? Make your unsightly room spectacular in a matter of minutes with Fathead. A Fathead is an enormous graphic that sticks to your wall. Life-size athletes, gigantic helmets and logos, and much more. Made from durable vinyl and a patented non-residue adhesive, a Fathead can be taken down, moved, and put back up without leaving a mark or doing damage to your wall. Just log on to fathead.com, where you'll find hundreds of images. And right now, if you buy an NFL Fathead, we'll give you a second one for half price. And that's not all. While supplies last, buy any Fathead, and we'll throw in a free pack of Fathead tradables. 5 miniature Fathead graphics that fit anywhere. They're free with your purchase. Just enter the code at the bottom of your TV screen. But wait, for a limited time, when you enter this code, we'll ship your entire order for free. Go to fathead.com while these offers are still good, and transform your room with Fathead. And now create your own Fathead. Go to fathead.com and click the word custom to upload your photo today.
A single flash of a fraction of a moment. And in that moment, 70,000 people will stand in the same pair of shoes. Because they all know that this moment might not be a moment at all. It might be the entire season. Be there. You want the NFL. Go to the NFL.
Tomorrow on Playbook, we'll show how the Eagles bettered the Broncos and break down how the Pats routed the Jags to take another AFC East title. Playbook tomorrow at 6 Eastern, only on NFL Network.
New Year's Eve. The desert heats up as the Golden Gophers square off with the Cyclones in a Big 10, Big 12 shootout. Minnesota, Iowa State. The Insight Bowl, New Year's Eve at 6, live on NFL Network.
For nearly 50 years, they've shown us America's game like we've never seen before.
Devin Hester, you are ridiculous! Caught by Clark! Tennessee has pulled a miracle!
They take us deep inside the game.
This is why you lift all them weights! Oh, they steal! No, Daisy!
They capture the struggle, reveal the heart,
Love you, Coach. I love you, too. This one's for John.
and preserve the passion of pro football.
That's what perfection's all about.
No greater feeling.
We did it.
One touchdown, we are world champions.
The hair is like standing up on your back.
NFL Films, where football lives forever on NFL Network.
Out of all the USC players that were drafted in the first round of this year's draft, it's Brian Cushing, who's the rookie from the Houston Texans, going to the Pro Bowl. One of 3 rookies so bestowed in 2009 regular season for the 2010 game, and that's how we pick things up for our Pepsi Rookie of the Week nominations. And we just honor, because they're all trying to get this trophy towards the end of the year. Isn't that beautiful? What a honey right there.
That's a nice trophy.
That's a nice foot on it, actually. Week 16 nominees, Cushing is a nominee, along with Austin Collie, Jeremy Macklin, Muhammad Massaquoi, and Chris Owens. Your vote right now at NFL.com/rookies. And that is the Pepsi Rookie of the Week nominees for week number 16. When we wrap things up, I'll just walk over to these guys right now.
Come on, Rich.
Come on, Rich. We got a spot for you, baby.
Charles. For the G block, as we like to say. G block, G.
NFL Total Access is brought to you by